and welcome to class, my dear students. In this lesson, I will be teaching you the poem Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. The poem describes the opposing experiences between two birds. One bird is able to live in nature as it pleases, while a different caged bird suffers in captivity. Caged bird does not literally refer to a bird in a cage. The poem refers to two sets of people, the African Americans and the Caucasians, who are the whites. The poem is a figurative representation of the pathetic conditions that the African Americans faced when there was racial discrimination and subjugation in the United States of America. To subjugate means to suppress or to oppress. African Americans were not given the same rights and opportunities like their white counterparts in the United States of America back in the days. Now you know the set of people that the caged bird refers to. Due to its suffering, the caged bird sings, both to cope with its circumstances and to express its own longing for freedom. Structural analysis. The structure of the poem is very important as it lends credence to the message that it conveys. Structure means the shape or appearance of a poem. Caged Bird is a poem of 38 lines divided into 6 stanzas. The first and second stanzas have 7 lines each. The third stanza has 8 lines. The fourth stanza and the fifth stanza have 4 lines each, and the last stanza has 8 lines. The poet used contrast to show the difference between a free bird and a caged bird. Contrast means the striking difference between two things that are placed closely, or the remarkable difference between two things that are closely placed. The birds are symbols. The poem is about people and not birds. The poem illustrates how African Americans who lived in the midst of racism did not have equal access to opportunities like their white counterparts in the United States of America when there was racial prejudice in that country. On the other hand, the free bird symbolizes the whites who had unlimited freedom and opportunities that the caged bird lacked. In stanza 1, the poet paints a clear image of a daring free bird. Stanza 1 reads, a free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips its wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. A bird will only dare to claim the sky when it has freedom. The free bird is an iconic representation of freedom. Take note of the pronoun that the poet used to refer to the bird. He used his and not its. Stanza 2 is introduced with a birth, a signifier of contrast. The poet gives the description of another bird. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. You know, a bird whose wings are clipped and has his feet tied obviously lacks freedom. It is a direct contrast of the first bird described in stanza 1. It does not have freedom that the first bird has to fly and explore the sky. This bird is a definition of the segregated and racially discriminated African Americans. It is conditioned to a social living structure that hinders him from reaching his potentials. Alright, so the African Americans were not free, just like the caged bird. A bird's place is never the cage. The place of a bird is the sky. Alright? It is on this note that I bring this lesson to a close. We'll talk more on this topic in our physical class. Until then, goodbye for now.